school baseball.
Then why do we need to add another student? We've got one, we took one off. This has been going on for 4 months.
Mayor, you talking to the person who submitted it because I was talking to the attorney. So the Board of Adjustments, as you can look at previous agendas, I placed on the agenda, Mr. Mayor. So come on, I'm sorry, could we please hear?
Yes, Mayor Allen. I need to know,
Is this on this issue, ma'am?
no, sir.
Okay, then hold on, we'll get to you, but let us finish this.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Sure.
So, Mr. Mayor, could we, would you,
Councilman Jones has the floor.
I don't mind.
Okay, go ahead.
would you, move Mr. Emmanuel as an alternate? And put Mr. Singleton back as one of the permanent five?
You want me to take the professional engineer off?
He's on the committee, the alternate is, they are at the meeting, there's just,
Then that's the same thing with Reverend Singleton.
but I would rather somebody who lives in our community, who has built something in our community to be one of the people who have something to say. I'm the one of the people who put his name forth, just like everybody had the right. And so again, I'm simply asking, because again, Mr. Mayor, you keep saying 4 months. You didn't bring it to us until a month ago, right? And so I do have the floor. So the names you brought to us, like Councilman Jones said, he's the one who asked for this to be on the agenda. We're not trying against you. We're trying to support you. And so I would hope that you wouldn't call out us, single us out individually as we move forward. Thank you. I'm done.
Okay. What's council's pleasure?
Was that accepted or not? And the reason why I would like, I understand that an engineer can extend his expertise, but also it's one thing to have him living in the community to understand the dynamics of how a project could maybe affect the community, rather than you just saying, okay, it's okay to build this wall, or we have this wall 5 feet. It can save the traffic from the highway to doing this. This is about how many students that come through here and all those different dynamics that come into play, rather than just numbers. So if it's your pleasure, I would like to see Mr. Singleton stay, and for us to still have the expertise provided to those citizens. So that way you add with the community background and knowing the dynamics of how it works with the education that the engineer provides. Is that okay?
Reverend Singleton, and as Councilman Rowland clearly stated, alternates, just like we were at the Charter Commission, alternates were at the meeting and involved, and they have input. This is a life safety issue. We're talking about a gasoline station that we want to make sure is safe for all the people who go there to get gas, as well as the people who live in the surrounding community behind and beside it. So we need expertise, not just folks you like. Reverend Singleton is here. You made the case for Marshall Brown, he's an engineer, he's on there. And so are Assistant Fire Chief Bordeaux, Emmanuel Zui, who's a professional engineer, Captain Chad Cryer, the PV Volunteer Fire Department Captain, Dean Pamela Obiome, a professional engineer, Paige Hines, an engineering student, and Reverend Singleton, pastor in the community.
So the Dean of Engineering is going to have the time to come to these meetings?
She had the time and got with me and helped put together some people who have some knowledge and expertise on what we're trying to do. So remember, this only comes up when someone needs to do something different. If they're needing to do something different, we need to make sure it's still as safe as it was with the 10 or 15 required feet, depending on whether or not it's commercial or residential. That's what we're looking at.
Yeah, I understand, Mr. Mayor. So
Mayor, I would like to add something about what y'all are talking about, time frame, because when the gas station that was being built on Richardson 290, the natural gas comes from the city of Waller. None of y'all helped them get that gas line to that store. I started going there, I want to tell you, in August. That's how I learned that it comes from the city of Waller. So I started going to the city of Waller because they couldn't finish it. They couldn't do the laundromat, they couldn't do anything without that natural gas. When I went to Waller, they said, oh, they haven't paid their fees. So I go back over here. They showed me they had paid their fees 6 months before that. Nothing was done. I called the state of Texas, hadn't even been done with them, and it doesn't cost anything from the state of Texas. The only person that was collecting money was the city of Waller. But y'all didn't stop and help them, and that impacted their business. So I think you need to think about this, because that's the same company that's building this. They're a very, very large company in this state. They can do a lot. And y'all are just arguing.
May I make a comment?
Pamela Obion was a resident of Alta Vista at one time, so she was a resident here in the city of Prairie View. Pamela Obion is actually a native of Hempstead. She graduated from Hempstead High School, and she is the sister of, if you watch football, Johnny Holland, who was a professional football player. He's now an NFL coach. And that is his sister. She just became the dean of engineering, so I don't know how much locally I want her to be. But she did, like I said, she lived in Alta Vista for an extensive time, and then she moved.
Yes, Councilman Jones.
I move, with the additional changes that we made, Mayor, I guess you could read off the name, approve the Board of Adjustments would have been Chief, Bordeaux, Mr. Emmanuel, Marshall Brown, Captain Chad, and Ms. Pamela, with the alternates being, Mr. Singleton, Pastor Singleton, and Paige Hines.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed have the same right? Ayes have it. Item 2, discussion and take action on the approval of city council meeting minutes dated August 12, 2019. What's council's pleasure?
I move that we approve the meeting minutes for August 4th.
It's been properly moved and seconded that the meeting minutes for August 12 be approved. You've heard the motion, ready for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Discuss and take action on Trilogy Engineering contract as city engineers. Mr. Underwood and Mr. Peters. Yes, sir.
Mayor, I did, my homework and diligence. All that I would ask is that, well, I guess the questions would be more directed towards using them. Why in the contract does it say for them to be, for Trilogy to be our engineer on a project by project base, rather than acting as, the city's engineer? Acting as though, authorized as the city engineer.
Well, that's a piece of it. The lawyers worked out the legal ease between their lawyers and our lawyers. But as I understand it, and you gentlemen, please correct me, because we've got an hourly rate schedule for some of those things, like what you've been helping us on now, or other things that we don't directly connect to a project or a pass-through. That's why we need a city engineer for those things that you'll basically be billing us for directly above and beyond projects. Am I right? I'm just trying to.
We do have an hourly rate schedule, that's correct.
Okay, so for anything that's not connected to a project, we got the hourly rate schedule. Well, no, and I say from a project that we're not having as a pass-through, like the way you helped us with them, they pay your fee. But if it's something like, let's say we needed preparatory engineering expertise, then we'd come to you all with that, and it's not something that would pass through, that's something the city would pay at your then hourly rate, correct?
But then you could also choose to have another engineer come in and do this same project as well, right?
Same project?
Well, the project in which would be, that's outside of, what you actually do. You could have another engineer service, right? So as we've been going on a project by project base, designate this area one project and then,
Well, that's what you're saying.
yes, I don't know if I'm speaking for myself, but I would like Trilogy to be our city engineer, full-time services, not on a project by project basis.
Well, let's check with council. Attorney Zach,
This agreement is intended for them to be hired as the city engineer. So they would be the city engineer and they would perform the services of city engineer. I think project by project basis is just a term of art that doesn't affect the substantive substance of the fact that they are the city engineer. Because the city engineers, what they do are projects. I mean,
That's a building permit.
The issue, well,
council?
one of the issues we want to now be able, if approved, this contract tonight, to know that the company that will be representing the city of Prairie View in the engineering space will be Trilogy Engineering.
that's what this contract does, yes.
And the money that's allocated as the retainer is a monthly draw that's not a paid out regardless, that's a work up to, correct? And if it exceeds that amount, somewhere in the contract, you said it says it needs to go to the mayor. And is there a reason, wouldn't that need to come back to council? Because then that would be over the budget, and so, to exceed the cost, right? So this is not projects that are not passed through. These are projects that are outside that scope of the $3,000 that we've allocated monthly. So right now, we're saying we're allocating the amount monthly. And we're, in the contract, it says the mayor.
Where
And
does
the
it, where does it say it?
Give me a moment.
Oh, I found it, I found it,
Page,
Councilman.
2.
Yes, sir.
Says determined solely by the mayor, and that would be out of, if it's not in the budget, the mayor couldn't solely.
It says it may be authorized by the mayor if there are appropriated funds for the purposes of the remaining fiscal year. So the mayor only has the authority if the funds are properly appropriated.
Within the
If
budget.
the funds are not appropriated properly, then he would have to come back to council.
And that's in 4.1, I don't see. 4.1?
4.2.
4.1?
4 yeah, Article 4, Section 4.2.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Council? Anything else on Trilogy Engineering contract with city engineers?
So, for clarification purpose, we're not,
You're hiring a city attorney with this contract, and they will do all
City
projects.
City
City
engineer.
I mean, sorry,
We already
Judy.
hired you. We already hired you.
Are you trying to tell us something?
I'm
You
good.
wasn't intending
I'm
to
very
tell us?
comfortable. I love y'all very much.
We love you too.
I am not an engineer, though. Just as they are probably, well, they may be attorneys, I don't know. You're hiring a city engineer with this contract.
on every project.
On
so
every
that
pro-
means every project,
On every project, unless city council chooses that another engineer would be more appropriate for a different project.
Yeah, the project by project is simply for billing purposes only, that's all.
that's okay, I'm making sure
No, I was
that
just trying to
we don't have a
explain
project that someone else is working on, that we actually,
That y'all would have to, y'all would approve.
so city council has to approve.
That is
for
correct.
Someone else to do,
That is correct.
thank you, Art.
From this day forward.
Yes, sir.
The rate schedule, there's a difference in this and this. Which one are we doing?
So we made an adjustment to our rate schedule such that that rate schedule would stay the same for 3 years.
Okay.
The original rate schedule was set such that you got 3% annual escalations in it, and we just fixed all that by adjusting it so that those fees shouldn't change for 3 years. Okay.
It's council's pleasure.
I move that we approve, Trilogy engineer contract, to be our authorized city engineer.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that council authorize Trilly Engineering's contract to be the city of Prairie View engineer. You've heard the motion, ready for the questions? All those in favor say aye. Opposed have the same right? Ayes have it, motion passed. Propose a 2019 tax rate of 0.73049 per $100 valuation for the city of Prairie View assessed property. This rate is the same as last year. Mr. Johnson?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilman Dillon.
if we're gonna approve it, and with it being the
This is
same.
proposed,
Huh?
this is the proposed rate.
I know, so I'm saying if we approve it, which that's what we have to do tonight, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
we, and with it being the same as last year, to just, give us more time and the citizens, time enough to get out of here, could we just move to pass it if we all on the same board? All right, so Mr. Mayor,
Councilman
I
Dillon.
move that we approve the 0.73049 per $100 valuation for the city of Prairie View. You be the, I guess, 2019 tax rate.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that council approve the 2019 tax rate of 0.73049 per $100 valuation for the city of Prairie View assessed property. For the motion, ready for the question? All in favor say aye. Let the record show it pass unanimous. Item 4, discuss and take possible action authorizing Allison Bynum, a signatory on city bank account for Prosperity Bank in her official capacity as city secretary. Councilman Jones.
Mr. Mayor, I ask that, the judge, the treasurer, and the mayor pro tem, as well as Ms. Bynum, be able to, sign off.
Okay, the judge is already on there,
Mhm.
and can we add those to
Yeah,
this as stated?
I prefer, this was written
Prefer
very,
not to?
very specifically for only Allison.
Yeah, we can add.
So I prefer we bring it back at
Yeah,
the
we
next
can add that next time.
Well, wait a minute, y'all already signatures. So why, this is just to add, Bynum.
Yeah, so I'm asking that from this day forward, which the attorney just told us, that I will have to bring that back as a subsequent item.
But the point I'm making to you is that they are already,
We already know that.
they are already signatures on the bank
We
account.
got it. Okay. Are you done? Yes, sir.
I move that we, table item number 4 till our next city council meeting, by adding those two. Adding the names.
Judge is already on there, but
No,
why
I'm
would
not.
you not the city secretary? Right now, we could be a little short, which is why we wanted to make sure we got caught up with adding Ms. Bynum. We could add
You were
Mayor Pro Tem.
removed,
We could
right?
add you
No,
next
already-
time.
as city secretary,
She's
you were
already
removed.
on.
Right, yeah, you're on it, but
The
you were on it
treasurer's
as city secretary and now, no.
The city secretary's not on it.
Right, we understand so we understand that. But in the process, there are some positions that should be included. And we're simply saying, to put it on the next agenda item with the current position, like, which, and the information that was just stated. If they're already on it, then it doesn't make any difference. So my motion was that we table item number 4 until the next city council meeting where the subsequent names that's currently not on there be added.
Councilwoman Williams.
Attorney Zach, I guess I need to ask, how many people need to be on a checking account for
Policy,
signatures?
it's a policy decision by y'all.
Okay, so it's not a particular
And
number. So
I would
currently,
also defer to, I mean, I don't know,
JJ, so currently who's on
Finance.
the account?
Right now, it's the mayor, Ms. Johnson, and Ms.
Judge Alexander.
Judge Alexander.
Okay.
Okay, so we adding
City
Right now, you just
secretary.
simply need to add Ms. Bynum.
the city secretary?
Right. Mhm.
And this the thing, I would make the motion to move this tonight, but also at the end of the meeting for new business and make it to where the mayor pro temp is on there as well. Because at any time in which the mayor is not, here or something happens to the mayor, then the mayor pro temp steps in that role and capacity. And all those positions, they can't make a decision unless they're given so by the mayor to do so.
You don't need 2 signatures.
But Ms. Johnson don't go sign that.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Okay, so I move that, we approve item number 4.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that item number 4, authorizing Allison Bynum as signatory on city bank account with Prosperity Bank in her official capacity as city secretary. You've heard the motion, ready for the questions?
Already.
Go ahead.
Hey, Mr. Mayor, so, not Mr. Mayor, Attorney Zip,
Yes, sir.
we couldn't amend the item to add?
No, sir, I'm concerned because the notice only specifies one person. And so my concern is that if, folks, didn't, in other words, people who showed up because they read the notice and said, oh, we're very comfortable with this person, but if you didn't include another person, so they didn't have notice that you might include that person.
Okay, and also, my next one readiness would be, should I do some more homework and just develop a policy to where we put those positions as the signatures anyway, regardless of who's serving in that capacity?
You're of course free to do that research, yes, sir.
Any other readiness? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Item 5, discuss new legislation that went into effect on June 14, 2019. It requires all local government employees and elected officials with access to a local government computer system or database to complete a certified cybersecurity training program once a year. These training requirements extend to contractors hired by state agencies, assuming they have access to a local government computer system, which we do not, we have none. Judge Alexander brought this back to us, but I was also on a training Saturday with Texas Municipal League, and they shared, they are putting together, they figured it would take a couple of months, but in speaking with Judge, I said, let's at least just put the notice and let council know this is coming, this new law. It actually, as I understand it, passed in June, but TML doesn't have the training in place yet, so we'll be getting that training once they're ready to receive it. Item 6, discuss and take action on establishing a 2020 Census Complete Count Committee. Councilman Rowland or Councilman Jones?
I move that we approve establishing the 2020 Census Complete Count Committee.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that council establish a 2020 Census Complete Count Committee. You've heard the motion, ready for questions? All those in favor say aye. Ayes have it, motion passed. Discuss, consider, and take possible action on ordinance 2019-0826-002, amending the Prairie View Code of Ordinances, Chapter 1, Article 1.500, City Council Rules of Procedure regarding departmental reports, public comments, Finance Committee, and general changes to council procedures. City Attorney and Councilman Rowland. Oh, let me say this because this was brought up. 2019 is the year of the ordinance. August 26th, should it pass, would be the date that it passed. 002 means it's the second one in August. So I just wanted to make sure that was brought out because a lot of times these things are taken for granted, so I wanted to do that. City Attorney, Councilman Rowland.
I don't have anything, it's Councilmember Rowland's,
Councilman Rowland.
we drafted it.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Jones.
I move, that we postpone item agenda number 7 to the next city council meeting.
It's been properly moved and seconded that item 7 be postponed to the next council meeting. You've heard the motion, ready for the questions? All those in favor say aye. Ayes have it, motion passed. Discuss K-9 insurance coverage by TML, Texas Municipal League, at no cost to city for drug dog approved by City Council on August 27, 2018 through the end of current budget cycle, September 30th, 2019. Councilman Jones.
Mr. Mayor, I read your email. I made the motion that we only do it for one dog, so I'm still asking that today, that we only do it for one dog, then we'll look at the other dog going forward in the future.
Okay, and item 8 is just for the drug dog,
Yes, sir.
and then item 9 would be the second, depending on what council decide to do. So, yes, on item 8, it is just on the one.
But one one of them is a canine and the other one is a farm dog, right?
No, they're both canines, that's what they refer to in police jargon. One is just a drug dog and one is a bomb sniffer, but they're both canines, yes.
All right, cool. So, I guess, does there need to be any action taken? I move that we approve for one, canine dog, being insured.
Okay.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that the canine, and I'll say drug dog, if that's okay.
Yeah, so,
Yes.
yeah, let's make sure are we gonna call it number 9? Because it sounds to me like the motion is to approve the full coverage for the full year. Number 8 just talks about the free coverage from August 27th to the end of the current budget cycle. Number 9 talks about the full, so let's
So
make clear.
number 9 is where they're even considering and approving the bomb dog, because that was never approved.
So I just.
So that's why I separated out, yeah.
That's fine, I just y'all need to understand, if you're making a motion, you're only approving. What's confusing to me though is, I believe that you only get the free coverage if you insure the full amount. That's my understanding. As TML said, it's $121 a year, and we'll throw in the free for these months. So you really can't you can't, if you approve the free and then don't approve the year, you don't get the free, is my understanding.
If you approve the free, I'm sorry. I'm following.
This says, canine insurance coverage by TML at no cost to the city for drug dog, approved by city council on August 27th through the end of the current budget cycle, September 30th. My understanding, as to what TML said, is that the insurance for the fiscal year is $121. If you insure the dog for that $121 for the fiscal year, we will go ahead at no cost to you, insure it for the remainder of this fiscal year as well. So TML, it's my understanding, is if you don't approve the 1 year, $121 for the drug dog, you don't get the 1 year for the rest of the fiscal year for free. That's my understanding.
Well, we can't approve until the budget comes up. We can't address the subsequent fiscal year because it hasn't started yet.
Okay, but
So
was that,
it's-
am I misunderstanding what TML said? Is TML willing to just insure it for no cost to the city? at the
Well,
remainder
what
of the
they were
fiscal year?
saying was because it's so close, and Ms. Bynum, you actually spoke to them. It's my understanding you said because it's so close to the end of the budget cycle, they'll pick up the dog now, and then our 121 starts when the new cycle starts,
Right.
October 1.
Right, no, I mean, they would be approving it for the next fiscal year, but my point is, if you don't approve it for the next fiscal year, will TML go ahead and for free insure the dog for the remainder of the fiscal year? I don't think they will. There has to be some sort of consideration. So my point is that you might consider taking up item number 8 and item number 1 together and consider the drug dog first and then the bomb dog second. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Well, the drug dog is the one on item 8.
I understand that.
Okay.
I understand that, but if you combine them, you can discuss them both at the same time, and then he can make a separate motion to approve the coverage for the canine for the drug, to separate them for the drug dog. Y'all can approve or disapprove that, and then another motion on the bomb dog. Does that make sense?
Works for me. Yeah.
May I make a statement, a comment?
Hold on, council's trying to address how we're gonna handle this.
Well, I wanted to make a comment before they decided on it.
No, hold on, please. The council has to deal first.
You let that.
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Brown? Not today. Council, what's your pleasure, based on what city attorney is recommending? In combining the discussion on items 8 and 9 simultaneously, is that my
Yes.
understanding?
Yes, sir.
Restate the motion.
Since it was my original motion, I moved to, but,
My understanding is what you're trying to accomplish.
huh?
Approve to insure the dog.
Right.
Hold on,
Yeah,
JJ.
but I know we can move to
No, you too.
insure the
Stop.
dog, but
Stop. Go.
we haven't got to the budget cycle.
That's okay, you will approve the expenditure in the budget cycle.
Okay, so, since I was willing to do it last week, I'll be willing to do it again. I move that we approve the K9 drug dog, to be insured.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that the K9 drug dog be insured. Heard the motion, ready for the question?
I have already. This does not include, I just wanted to throw this out that this does not include the bond dog.
No, sir, not as your motion was stated.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The record shows unanimous, motion passed. Item 9, discuss and take action on approving and insuring at 121 per dog the bomb dog, is what we're talking here.
Yes, so,
That's correct.
This item,
Okay,
not for.
okay. Table it, pass it on. What's your pleasure?
I'll pass it on to, we could discuss, during the budget cycle.
Okay, so we'll pass on item 9? Okay. Discuss and take action on reviewing Bureau Veritas fee schedule and updated residential and commercial applications. Councilman Rowland.
This, we're gonna wait to move this to, since we just got our engineer, to help, make sure that our application process flows both for residential and commercial in reference to, the fees that Bureau Veritas is collecting or we're not collecting. So we want, the engineering company to review this application. So, I will, ask that this be, brought back at a later date, once the engineer reviews.
So we'll pass on item 10 to go. Okay. Item 11, discuss and take action, okay. Discuss and take action on the most recent Bureau Veritas inspection reports and civil engineering reports for Panfield Apartments, the Gates of Fairview, and Campus Edge Apartments. These are the reports, the fee schedule. Councilman Jones.
I move that we don't, that the city of Fairview does not give any more certificates or certificates of occupancy to the Panther Hill Apartments, the Gates of Fairview, and Campus Edge Apartments.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded that the city of Fairview does not issue any more certificates of occupancy to Panfield Apartments, the Gates of Fairview, and Campus Edge Apartments.
I'm gonna,
You've heard the motion, what's your,
I'm gonna,
Oh, we gotta move a question.
I'm gonna withdraw my second. Till we have discussion.
okay, so we have a motion died for lack of a second.
Mr. Mayor.
You want to carry this over with the engineer thing and pick up on it as well?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, in our packets, we are supposed to have, some documentation, that we've been asking for over a year. We simply asked for city council to receive the permitting application for 3 developments. That was Panther Hill Apartments, the Gates of Prairie View, and Campus Edge. In our agenda item, we asked to see the Bureau Veritas inspection reports and the civil engineering reports on all 3 developments. We were sent some information, a lot of information, but none of it was the subsequent information that we originally requested. And so with the motion that Councilman Jones made, even though that is the direction in which we want to go, there's 2 questions. One, a legal question with Attorney Zach in reference to